Hi Fixer family, it's Charmin, and today I have an awesome fall project for you. Welcome to Fixin' To. Here are some of the materials that we're going to be using. I'm using pallet wood to make these pumpkins. Now the larger pumpkin, I'm using 5 of the pieces of pallet wood that I have, and I'm just taking a pencil and freehanding them. And with the smaller pumpkin, I'm just doing 4 pieces of pallet wood. Again, just taking a pencil and freehanding it. Now we're going to be using a jigsaw. Now this project is an easy project. If you've never worked with any type of power tools before, this is a great start. Now the jigsaw, you can pick them up relatively anywhere. This is a one with a power cord, and of course the blades are so easy to install and to replace when needed. Just a little lever right here on the end, and you just lift it up, slide it in, and then you have a little trigger button right here that you pull it, and of course it makes the blade move up and down, and you just put just a little bit of pressure behind it to push it forward. And another thing that is really good to have for any woodworking is to have these clamps. Now I picked these up at Harbor Freight. They're relatively inexpensive, just some kind of clamp to help hold your material. Now basically, after I have drawn my pumpkin template, I guess you could say, draw my pumpkin out, I'm just going to clamp this down here on the end of my counter and to hold it into place for me, and then just follow each one of the slats. I'll follow the pencil mark that's on it. Super easy to give it a little pressure as you're pushing it forward. This is a little bit messy job, but it is such fun. Now I'm also creating the stems out of some of the scrap pieces that I cut off, and again I just freehanded them. I didn't have a specific template, just kind of freehanded what I thought a stem looked like. And I'm going to do the same thing, clamp it down, follow it with my jigsaw, and cut it out. Once you get it cut out, it's you'll see here that it turns out just looking to me like an awesome little stem here. And I cut, of course, a little bit bigger one for the bigger pumpkin I'm going to do, and then a smaller one. And you see how the puzzle pieces all fit together. Now we're ready to sand. Now guys, here is another really simple tool. It's a palm sander. You can pick these up again, Home Depot, Lowe's. I got this one actually at Walmart. I think I paid like $30 for it. You can also purchase the sanding pieces for the bottom, the sandpaper, and they're simple to install. It's just a Velcro system that they have, lining up your little holes here, and you're ready to begin sanding. And guys, do not skip this step. It is so important to sand when you're working on wood projects. Also, don't forget your safety glasses. And I myself, because I'm dealing with splintery pallet wood, I like to wear gloves. So just flip it on with the switch and begin to sand. Now, of course, our next step is to put it all together. And guys, I just used some scrap wood that I had. You can also use those paint sticks that you can pick up from Home Depot to put it together. But you want to do, I'm doing 2 brad nails per each slat of wood for the pumpkins. And the third tool that I'm going to be using is my Ryobi Airstrike brad nailer. Now this is a little bit more, I mean, it's not really that advanced. It's pretty easy to use, but I mean, you can also use a hammer nail, you can use screws if you have a drill. You can, whatever you would like to use to put it together. And you want to make sure that your nails or screws or your brad nails, whatever you're using, does not go all the way through to the front. And as you see, I'm getting ready to put my the stem on, and I want to make sure that it is that I have the nails that are small enough to where they won't go through the front. So I'm going to be adding a couple of pieces of a paint stick to the back of my stem to make sure that I do not go and penetrate through to the front of my pumpkin. So I'm putting 3 nails in here, and it's going to be at the back anyway, so it'll be just fine. And this is what they look like before we do all of the fun stuff to them. I hope you're enjoying this project so far, but just real quick, I wanted to let you guys know I am working really hard to get myself back on a regular schedule for you guys. Once a week on Sundays, trying to get there, so be patient, but it's coming. And also today's fall project is going to be the last fall project for this year. Next video will be us kicking off the Christmas season projects that I have planned for you, and I've got some fun stuff planned. So make sure that you've hit that subscribe button and the notification bells so that you're notified each time I upload new videos. I'd hate for you guys to miss a single video because there are going to be some good ones. So let's go ahead, finish this project so you guys can see how it all comes together. So now comes the fun stuff we were talking about. I'm going to be using my gel stain in the color Java Brown. And I also have this piece, a wider palette wood that I have. And of course your size will be according to how big you make your pumpkins. I'm also going to be using these paintbrushes that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. These are great for these types of projects. You get 3 different sizes for $1. And I'm also going to be using some paper towels. I'll have them on the side. And then I picked up these little gloves from Walmart. Really, I think they were, gosh, don't quote me on this, I think they were like $2, and you get 10 pair. And they're the kind, I call them like the lunch lady gloves. And you know, some people like the ones that are a little bit more form-fitting, but I just wanted something that would protect my hands. And sometimes I do, sometimes I don't use gloves. And also this little tool right here, if you don't have one, girls, you guys need to get one. You can pick it up at any hardware store that when you get your paint or stain. And we're just going to begin to slather it on and wipe off the excess. Just a fun stain project. I'm going to do the top, all of the sides, let that dry, flip it over, and do the bottom. I love to do the whole piece to give it that finished look. I'm also going to stain my stem. Now guys, if I'd have been thinking correctly, I would have stained this before I attached it. But since I didn't, I'm going to go ahead, put a little piece of tape up here at the top so that I don't get stain on the pumpkin part, and go ahead and stain away. Again, slipping on my gloves. And then of course we're going to stain the front and the back and all the sides of the stem just like we did the base, and then we'll be ready to move on to the pumpkin. Now for our pumpkin. We're going to be using the Apple Barrel Pumpkin Orange acrylic paint. It's a matte finish paint. You want to make sure that you use the matte. It works the best. But we are going to do a stain effect to the pumpkin using paint. Now you guys have seen me do this before. I usually do it with the burnt umber and kind of make a brown. But I decided to go ahead and do it with the orange as well because I really want the wood grain to come through. So I'm going to go ahead and mix it and do a little test spot on the back to make sure that I've got the mixture, you know, kind of like I want it. And then we're going to go ahead and we'll move to the front of the pumpkin. Now that I like the consistency, we're going to be using another one of those paint brushes that I got from the Dollar Tree, and also a paper towel, and we're going to go ahead and put it on, and I'm going to do all of the edges and the front, trying to get it down in between the slats there to give me the look that I'm going for, and I really want to be able to see the wood grain through this. And I'm not gonna do the full back on this. It's just because of the way that I'm putting it on a stand, but you can do it however you would like to. Now guys, you know me and my rustic. Now this looks pretty rustic already because it's done with pallet wood. You can see the wood grain, but I want to add just a little bit more rusticness to it. So I'm just taking the brush that I used to stain all the other pieces. I'm not adding any extra to the brush, just whatever's on there, and I'm going around all of the edges, and I'm using that brushing inward technique right on the edges, and wiping them to get the look that I want. Then I went in and put 2 coats of polyurethane on all of the wood pieces, and then embellished with some ribbon and some leaves. Just really however you would like to make your pumpkin look. Now we're ready to put it all together, and I'm just going to take the base that I created and putting my smaller pumpkin on first, and I'm going to be using these L brackets that I got at Home Depot, and then we're going to just take these, kind of mark the holes, and using the screws that came with them, we're going to get those mounted onto the back of our pumpkin, and then we're going to place it onto our base and then screw it down onto our base. Again, placing the larger pumpkin first, the smaller pumpkin first in the front, and then offsetting it to the other side of the base, we'll put the larger pumpkin in behind it. And it's going to be such an amazing piece. And because we covered it with polyurethane, it will go outside or inside. Let me know down in the comment section below if you enjoy working with power tools. Because guys, I know they make my life easier with my projects, and I love working with them. Don't be afraid of them. Let me know down in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I am so glad that you were here, and know that I am so grateful for all the prayers, the comments, the sweet encouraging words that you guys have brought to me. They have been well loved, well appreciated, and we are moving forward. So if no one has told you today, you are absolutely amazing. And always remember to keep looking up, because that's where it all is. I'll see you on the next video.